Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to What You Want. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at a special Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph dedicated to a special football player. You know that when you're called the greatest of all time at age 27, you're really something else. And this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph Leo Messi reference 26325 TS in stainless steel and tantalum is really something else. Now, this watch is an exceptional limited edition of 500 released in a combination of stainless steel, brushed and polished, with a tantalum bezel, unique proportions, unique strap, unique color scheme, unique metals, and unique dial, all dedicated to the veteran, already at age 27, of over 400 country and club professional goals, multiple champion in many different leagues, Leo Messi, properly Lionel Andreas Messi, Leo, as he's often known, has been an Audemars Piguet ambassador since 2010 and actually began his association with the brand as far back as 2005. Now, it's pretty special to receive an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak as a gift, but it was this very gesture by his club in gratitude that sparked his love affair with the brand from the canton of Vaud. And the bottom line is that this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph embodies his own understated style and appreciation for the traditional Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, the traditional aesthetic of the 1972 Gerald Genta model. Notably, although a signature, celebrity, and sports-inspired reference, this is not a Royal Oak Offshore. Rather, this is the 1997 to present Royal Oak chronograph. So let's unpack what makes this Leo Messi model special, and why it is he chose the Royal Oak chronograph and not an Offshore to embody his personal values. So the bottom line is, you can see it's a little bit larger than a conventional Royal Oak. Traditionally, these are 39mm watches, but from 2012 to present, the Royal Oak 15400 and the 26300 chronograph are both in 41mm, and you can see it still wears thin. It still wears flush to the wrist. The quintessential, two-way player, it can be a dress watch, it can be a sports watch. In chronograph form, it's unabashedly sporty, but it plays well with just about any attire. Now, on my wrist, which is 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see it sits evenly. You can see that the mass is nicely balanced out. And this is an exceptionally supple alligator strap. This is not the rigid hornback that you're used to seeing on the Offshores. Not only is it a square scale pattern alligator, but it's also notably thinner and unbolstered, so it's very soft and it conforms easily to the curvature of the wrist on both sides. Now, you know the size of my wrist, but I'm also going to add that it's a fairly average profile, fairly flat across the top, sort of oval in cross section. This can easily accommodate a wrist, I would say, down to 6 inches in circumference. And as big as you'd like to get, this watch has the presence and the personality to pull off a bigger wrist, no doubt, possibly even up to 8 inches. Looking at the watch itself, you can see some of the standout features that Messi himself specified, and I really want to take it off the wrist and use both hands because this is something that deserves to be unpacked in detail, piece by piece. Moving in from the strap, you see the first unconventional feature. Traditionally, since '72, most of the conventional non-offshore Royal Oaks, chronos, and time only alike have been featured on bracelets, but the Messi features this gorgeous, beautifully color complementary and supple alligator strap. That's the first distinction. Moving in towards the strap plots, you see the next difference. There's a slight color contrast that you're seeing. It's not an illusion. It's not a product of the iPhone. This is bimetallic. You're looking at tantalum strap plots linked to a brushed stainless steel lug top. Two metals, one the exotic tantalum, a metal that's exceptionally difficult to work and to finish, never mind finish to a high horology standard as Audemars does. It's almost as heavy as platinum, and it's got a gorgeous blue-gray, almost gunmetal tone to it. It's a beautiful touch, and featuring on the bezel itself and the subtlety of the strap plots, you notice that no detail, no attention to detail has been overlooked or spared in the creation of this reference. Now, Messi wanted something that was distinguished, something that featured some of his signature Argentine team gray, and he got it with this anthracite vertically brushed dial and the large octagonal Royal Oak tantalum bezel. Now, as ever, in spite of the bimetallic treatment, the bezel bolts are still made of 18-karat white gold, and all of their heads are polished and their slots are chamfered, and they really stand out more so than against stainless steel when inset within this tantalum bezel. Now, the bezel is entirely matte brushed, so there's absolutely no polished portion to make the bolts stand out in even starker contrast to the base metal. Now the watch does have a pronounced heft to it. Although it's stainless steel, the combination of the tantalum elements and the solid caseback with individual numbering and Leo Messi dedication on the back means that this wears with just a little bit more of a premium pull on your wrist than a standard Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph or Royal Oak on a strap. Again, just that little reminder that you're really experiencing something that's above and beyond and unique. Now moving inward to the dial, you see all of the stick indices and the hands are diamond polished white gold applied. We're talking about the highest quality of finish, and if you hold the watch at an angle, you can see that that same degree of diamond polished mirror finish inboard of the polished bolts and outboard of the polished indices is present on the inner flange of the case, just outboard of the dial, mirror polished on its interior. That degree of attention to detail is emblematic of the high standards shared by Audemars Piguet and the namesake of this limited edition. Fantastic presentation, but the unique features don't end there. The anthracite dial, as I mentioned earlier, features a semi-gloss but vertically brushed anthracite finish. It's hard to describe. It's halfway between a gloss and a metallic, but if you can imagine the rayon look of a sunburst radiating out from the center of a metallic dial, it has that striation, very subtle, running north-south along the dial. Beautiful and so different from any other Audemars Piguet Royal Oak or Royal Oak Offshore dial. The non-tapisserie dials on Audemars Piguet Royal Oaks and Offshores are truly special. They are once-in-a-blue moon features that only come out for truly landmark limited editions. Not just special people, not just special brand ambassadors, but designs that the company feels are truly home runs, that are supposed to join the pantheon of all-timers, those references that will be remembered as collector-venerated greats, and the Leo Messi is already on the fast track to that exalted status. Audemars knew what they had in this watch when they released it, and so this special dial, without the characteristic hobnail or waffle cut, almost completely immaculate, stands in stark contrast to the applied numerals, the subdials, the applied indices, the metallic subdials, the hands. There's a great deal of contrast here and a totally unique, seamless look created by that grained, not hobnail dial. Now, inboard of the hour track, you can see that there are these concentric circled guilloche metallic subdials. They actually feature great contrast with inner discs that match the anthracite of the dial, and then those calibrated, and you can see differentiated calibration on the chronograph subregisters and the constant seconds at 6 o'clock. So even that degree of detailing is not overlooked. But that contrast between the inner disc and the lightly guilloche outer metal race is beautiful and plays well against the indices, that polished flange, and the diamond polished hands. This watch is the total package. But there is more. Inside the watch is Audemars Piguet's what they call caliber 2385, and it's based on one of the greats of modern horology. Based on the Frédéric Piguet chronograph series integrated, based on the 1180 series, it is one of the most refined, thinnest, automatic high horology chronograph movements produced in the latter half of the 20th century. Featured on everything from Blancpain complications to the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronographs to the Vacheron Constantin overseas chronograph. This movement is something of an all-star in itself. Thinner than many time-only automatic calibers, it also incorporates the combination of a column wheel for a crisp tactile feel at the pushers. It really feels like a rifle bolt when you're actuating it, but it also has the vertical clutch that allows the chronograph to be run continuously with no hazard to the movement and assures a smooth stop-start to the movement. In the course of operating a vertical clutch chronograph, you get a start without a jump, you get a stop without a stagger, you get a reset straight to 0 at the index at 12. It's a motor worthy of this chassis, and this is a standout performer. Now, the watch is 100% complete with all original Leo Messi commemorative accessories and Audemars Piguet factory equipment, and it does deserve a look. On our website, Watch You Want, you can see the original lacquered wooden cleat box that comes as the presentation box for this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. It's styled to resemble, for want of a better term, a shoebox, but a very stylized one, beautifully, richly lacquered by Audemars Piguet, it's the ideal set piece and centerpiece for what is certain to be the pride of any collection of memorable Audemars Piguet references. See this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chronograph Leo Messi reference 26325TS on our website, Watch You Want.